You ever wondered how to handle something like this in DTF printing and design for DTF? Stick around, we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so this design was sent to me by one of our customers for his customer, and he wanted this printed as a DTF transfer, and I said that smoke is not going to work like that. So if I printed that with DTF, the smoke would just be all big white splotchy stuff because the DTF printer can't handle that transparency piece of it. So what we need to do is convert those areas to halftones. And that's going to allow us, it basically is going to break it up and make it solid with like little dots and holes in it to make it give the appearance of transparency. It comes out really nice. It's pretty impressive how this can work. So you could use it on a design like this. You could use it on a design for, with that has like a glow around the logo or something like that. And maybe it's something that fades out into the shirt. And it works really quite nicely. So we're going to switch the camera around here, switch over to the computer, and we'll get started. And I'll show you how to convert this with Photoshop and convert that smoke layer to halftones, and then that'll be a DTF suitable design to print on DTF. So let's get started. All right, so now we're in Photoshop and I have the design open, and I have two different layers here with the smoke and the lettering, and then I have a black layer just so I can see what I'm doing when I'm working with it. I'll get rid of that before I actually save this as a final file to be printed, but just makes it a little easier visually. So we're going to hide the lettering, and we're going to select the smoke layer. So we're going to select the layer that has all that transparency that we want to turn into a halftone. And now with that selected, we're going to go to Layer, Layer Mask from Transparency. And you'll notice when I did that, it gives me a new little thumbnail over here with a link between it. And I'm going to hit Control A to select all, and you see the box that it put around the entire image, and I'm going to hit Control C. Then we're going to create a new document. So File, New, or you can hit Control N. And we're going to choose the clipboard, and over here on the right we should see the same dimensions, hopefully 300 dpi. It's what you're working with, and then it will be on grayscale 8-bit with transparent background, and we'll create that, and then we'll paste. Now you'll notice this brought that black background with it, but that's not the black background that you saw there. This is we're in a different mode, so just kind of pay no attention to that for now. And what we're going to do is go to the image menu and go to Mode, and we're going to change it to a bitmap. And when we do, we're going to get a couple prompts here. One is to flatten layer, so we're going to hit OK. And then the next one should be your resolution that your document is, and we're going to change this and set it to halftone screen and click OK. And then the next one will ask you a couple numbers and the shape, and so you can use like I'm going to use 3825 here. Those are pretty good numbers, so anywhere around there for something like this should be fine. You can play with that and tweak it and move them up and down and get see which one is better for your liking. And we're going to set the shape to round, and we're going to hit OK, and you'll notice that it changed everything to little dots. Now it looks a little funny on the screen because of the way the screen makes it appear when you're at certain zoom levels, but if I zoom in and out like that, you'll see that it starts to take the shape, and the farther away from it you get, the more it resembles that smoke. So this is something that typically at the distance of 6 or 8 feet away from somebody, it's going to look like smoke on a shirt. It's not going to look like a bunch of dots unless you get up really close. So now that we have that, we're going to hit Control A and copy this again by hitting Control C. So we selected all, then Control C to copy. And now that we've copied that, we're going to go back over to our original document, and you notice this thumbnail selected. So I'm going to hold the Alt key and I'm going to left click to turn that off. And then I'm going to paste in place over top of that, and then I can turn my lettering back on. I want to hit Control D to get rid of the selection tool there, then turn my lettering back on, and as you can see, as I zoom out and that becomes a little bit more distant, that it truly just pretty much looks like that transparent smoke that we saw in the original image. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to hold Control and select both of those layers, and we're going to hide that black layer. We're going to hit Control E and merge that and get rid of it. And now I can export this as a PNG file ready to be printed for DTF. Okay, there you have it. This design, we've now converted that transparent area, partially transparent area of smoke into a halftone pattern, and even from there on the camera it probably looks pretty good. I can't really tell on the little screen, but when you apply that to the shirt from just a distance, arm's length, 4, 6, 8 feet away or whatever, it looks fantastic. Matter of fact, here's a picture of the shirt, and then here's a close-up of it side by side, showing the halftone pattern and how well that came out. You can see it looks great. Customer was very happy with this. It's a very powerful tool. You can use it if you have a logo that has a glow around it, or maybe the edges fade out into the shirt, or with a design or something like that. There's a lot of things you can do with halftones, making retro looking shirts or whatever, to get around some of those limitations, I guess you could say, of DTF printing compared to some of the others. This was commonly used back in, with screen printing as a way to handle this as well, because when they screen print, they're laying down layers of ink. So just makes some really cool things that you can do with it. Now, one of the things I should probably mention that you want to be careful of is, after you do this part of it, you don't really want to resize that image. If you do, it's got to be very, very tiny changes, because as it sits, when I zoom in really close, those dots and that halftone pattern has very hard edges, like it needs to have for DTF printing. If you start to resize that, those edges will start to get soft, and you'll start to lose a lot of that detail. It will not print and look near as good. So just be careful with that when you do create it. Ideally, you want to get your design the size that it's going to be before you halftone it. So hopefully that's been helpful to you. If you have any questions or comments, post them down below the video.